Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making. Copy and paste pretty faces all the time. Pictures so perfect we play through, only cause you set up the angle. Web that you weave got us tangled, caught in what's before our eyes. Show off your fantasy reality, whoa, that's yours, but I'll keep doing mine. You'll be living your good life. Catch a glimpse from the out.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a pregnancy update, and I know it's been long awaited. Before I get started though, let me just say, if you are new to my channel or you're just passing by, then hi, my name is Amanda. I'm a mummy to 8 babies. Well, they're not babies anymore, but 8 children. I have 2 teenage sons, 5 daughters, and 1 little baby angel that lives amongst the stars. And we're pregnant again with number 9. So I am, as of today, I am 18 weeks and 2 days. And it's been a long road here. I know I haven't done any updates right up until this point. I was going to when we were around about 13 weeks, but then we just had so much happening. And I don't know, I think emotionally I've kind of been holding off talking about the pregnancy so much, because obviously what happened in my last pregnancy, if you haven't seen my videos or you don't know our story, then we lost our son Jackson at 20 weeks pregnant in July 2020. And it was quite a dramatic loss. It was unexpected. We had a really bad time with it. I won't go into too many details. If you want to watch that video, then I will link it down below if you want to go and see that, but I'd rather not get into it because it causes enough anxiety already. Okay, so yeah, I haven't done any updates purely because for emotional state I just haven't been talking about this pregnancy a lot. I think more so because I'm scared to. But now we are, like I said, 18 weeks and 2 days. I'm feeling a little bit more, I can't say a little bit more, maybe just slightly, tiny bit, a smidgen more confident to talk about it now. We have had some ups and downs with this pregnancy. It's definitely been one of the harder ones that I've had. So anyway, let's start with how big baby is this week. So according to my app, baby is around the size of a grapefruit, which I wrote it down actually, which is about 6.02 inches. I haven't got a tape measure and I don't have a grapefruit, so I can't really show you, but I can imagine it's about that long, give or take. And it weighs about 8.4 ounces. So it's getting bigger and it's moving around, and yeah, I am feeling movement, only very slightly, nothing major, nothing dramatic. I do have a pattern. We are feeling it, or I am feeling it. My husband's not feeling it yet, much to his dismay. But I'm feeling it more so around the evenings, more when I'm not running around, because most of the day I'm like, you know, stressed out, running around with the kids. But in the evenings when I settle, that's when I start to feel it a lot more. So definitely feel movement. Up until now, like I said, I've had loads of anxiety. At the beginning it was more of a paranoia, I think. It was definitely a paranoia, going back and forward to the bathroom, just checking that everything was okay. You know, every ache and pain, literally I was overanalyzing everything. And it was just, it wasn't like a really bad paranoia, but it was definitely paranoid. Like, you know, I was worried sick constantly. I was frightened to move, frightened to do anything, frightened to even talk about it. But that's eased off as time's gone on. Over the last couple of weeks, however, we've had a little bit of an up and down time. Stress has been really high around us lately, because things, you know, after the pandemic, I don't want to keep going on about the pandemic in every video, but after the pandemic, things got really, really difficult financially. We were all locked in the house with everybody because we homeschool anyway, so we were all literally in each other's pockets all the time. There was so much to deal with, and there's just like a long run of things that we've been dealing with since then. So stress levels have been really high all the time, which is having like a major effect on everything. I definitely find the more stressed I get out, the more aches and pains that I get. And it's not necessarily related to the pregnancy, but it definitely makes anxiety worse around the pregnancy because it's worrying, you know, are they related to pregnancy, which they're not. But over the last couple of weeks, I've had, you know, a little bit of trouble with my blood pressure going up a little bit. Again, stress related, I'm sure. I've had a couple of illnesses. We've had a tummy bug. We've had some, you know, snotty noses and things like that. So all of those have had a bit of an effect. I'm still not vaccinated. I'm still not COVID vaccinated because we have had so much trouble trying to get in to be vaccinated. And when we finally got an appointment, I was put on a 24-hour bed rest. Now, in order to go to my appointment, I was literally going to be walking like 1.5 miles across town, which I know is not a long way. It's not far. But at that point, which was actually last week, I had a little bit of bleeding, and it was so very minuscule. But because of my history and, you know, all the bits and pieces that I've gone through, I panicked. I rang my midwife. I was in so many tears. I was literally just kind of sobbing away down the phone, like, what do I do? Is it happening again? And she reassured me, told me, you know, to sit down. Things like putting a pad on for an hour, which midwives tell you to do. If there's any kind of small amount of bleeding. Obviously, if there's a massive loss of bleeding, then you go straight to your A&E. But I had a very small amount, and she told me to put a pad on and sit for an hour. If I had any more or anything that was significant, then to definitely head on in. Thankfully, touch wood, all the wood, we didn't have anything else. Nothing that was significant to say, you know, something's really wrong. But she did tell me to rest up for the next 24 hours and definitely not be walking across town. So we ended up having to cancel that appointment to get my COVID jab, which we had fought for so badly and really tried to get hold of, and it took us ages to get it, and it was just so frustrating. But obviously the baby and my pregnancy and me were like high priority at that point. Touch wood, everything has been going okay. I have had some backache. Again, baby's fine. Heartbeat is really, really strong. Heartbeat is ranging around 153 beats per minute, and that is by my Doppler, not by the midwife's Doppler. That's by mine. Definitely the Doppler I've been using more of a kind of an ease my mind thing, but what I will say, if anybody's going to use a Doppler, definitely don't rely on it to tell you that everything's okay. Always make sure, if you're unsure about something, go and see a midwife, because even though I'm using my Doppler, I was still unsure, so I definitely went and spoke to my midwife. So yeah, I feel so out of breath. I'm literally out of breath all the time. But yeah, so lots of stresses, lots of things going on, lots of ups and downs, and that's pretty much why I haven't been posting regularly on my channel, is because things have just been absolutely chaotic. And again, I'm going to say it one more time, so stressful. And we're trying to like make that go away and just trying to ease it out a bit. The kids are on half term this week, which is brilliant, because then we can just relax a little bit and just have some Halloween fun. And yeah, so I know it's a lot, and I don't even know if I made sense through half of that, but that is kind of my from then till now update. Did that even make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. I've got seriously bad baby brain. Like Ethan keeps going around, my eldest Ethan keeps going around and telling me, Mum, you've got seriously bad baby brain. Or I'll be saying something and he'll go, baby brain, like that. It's really annoying. It's really, really annoying. But I have to agree, I really actually do. I keep forgetting everything, and I'll be having a conversation with somebody and completely forget my way halfway through. So yeah, that's happening. That's one of my symptoms. Other symptoms, what other symptoms? Other symptoms I have going on are my gag reflex is like in full throw all the time. Absolutely all the time. I can be having a conversation with somebody and then literally be gagging for no reason. What else? Nausea isn't too bad. I only get that here or there and, you know, once in a blue moon, which is good because the first 3 months of this pregnancy was absolute hell. From being sick to feeling sick, I couldn't eat, I couldn't get up and do anything. It was absolutely god awful. I don't want to say that I had HG, but it was kind of borderline HG. It was absolutely miserable. So I'm glad that we're now at this point where that's just not going on anymore. Touch wood. Oh my god, don't let it come back. So yeah, the nausea and the vomiting have subsided, and I'm just, it's just my gag reflex that is being a bit of a pain in the backside. What else? Headaches. Actually, headaches. I've never really suffered with headaches through my pregnancies, but headaches in this one have been quite prominent. Normally headaches go with a boy, so I've been told. And I've been really hungry as well. Over the last about a week and a half, I've been really hungry, and that I only ever got with my boys. So they're like in favour of a boy, but I've also been really tired. No, tired as well. I was tired with Ethan and Dylan, but I wasn't tired with the girls. But dry skin and things like that I got with the girls, so it's kind of a 50-50 thing. I've got a million and one different things going on. One of my main things actually is my skin sensitivities has changed. Things like Dettol. I don't know if any of you guys have ever used antiseptic Dettol to put into things like bath water, or if you're going to soak your feet, things like that. Put, you know, just a capful in there. It's something my mum always did when we were kids. I've been using it for years. Not regularly though, because it can be bad for you too. But I've never ever had any reactions to it. And then one day I'd been walking around so much, my feet were hurting so bad. And my husband said to me, do you want me to do you a dish of hot water, maybe with some Dettol in it, some bubbles, something like that? I said, yeah, you know, that would be really good. Literally within a couple of minutes of putting my feet in the water, my skin had reacted. I had turned bright red. I had this nasty itchy rash all over my feet and going up my legs. Now, I've never in my life ever reacted to Dettol. So that was a bit of a strange one. So I definitely think that's something that's related to the pregnancy. Things like I have psoriasis, very mildly. I've had it since I was little. I have it on the back of my head and on my neck, and occasionally on my knees or my elbows. And it very rarely flares up, only like in the hot weather or if I'm having like a reaction to something. But since I've reached about 15 weeks, I'd like to say, it's kind of kicked off something rotten and my skin's really sore. So definitely lots of skin changes with this pregnancy. My hair as well. My hair's got really wiry and brittle. And I keep finding that it's gone greasy really quickly, which is not something I'm used to. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of like cosmetically kind of things that's been changing throughout this pregnancy, and just loads of anxiety and breathlessness, loads of breathlessness. We went out for a really long walk this morning, and because we like to take the kids for morning walks over the fields, because we live next to lots of fields and a forest, and it's just really nice. So we like to do that, but my God, could I not breathe? I'm not as heavy as I've been in other pregnancies, but I definitely was struggling to breathe. I was so breathless, honestly. It sounded dreadful. But yeah, so there's lots of little bits and pieces going on, and I'm kind of mentally documenting them as I go along. I'm trying to think of some good ones, so they're not like all bad, but it has been quite a difficult run. Nails got longer for a short amount of time. they got longer and stronger, and now they've turned brittle again. And again, that's another symptom of having a girl. It's because girls steal your beauty. So I can't wait. I literally can't wait to find out what it is. We are so close. We actually have to go like a week over when we would normally find out because there was just no appointments. And even then I have to rearrange the appointment they give us because it's just not coinciding in the times that we need. So I have to reschedule that. And I'm really hoping that they can stay in the week that I have it. I have a consultant appointment next week so we can kind of discuss any medical needs that I'm going to need or any medical needs a baby's going to need afterwards. Medication, you know, things like Clexin injections. I usually have them through my pregnancies, and I'm quite surprised that I haven't had them yet with this one, even though we're 18 weeks. We normally have them quite early on because I suffer with different things during my pregnancies. I'm already taking aspirin. I take 150 milligrams of aspirin. That's mainly a daily thing for women that are overweight, and I'm definitely overweight. So I take that daily. I also take B12 that is issued by my doctor daily, as well as I take iron supplements daily as well because I'm anemic, and my prenatals. So yeah, but we need to discuss more things with the consultant to see what he wants to do. And we've also as well briefly discussed us being induced because we don't want to get to a place where I'm going to be having like a surprise delivery at home, which I've had twice. I've had one surprise delivery at home, which literally she was born within 10 minutes. That was like craziness. And then I had my other daughter in the back of an ambulance on a motorway, like smack banging in the middle of the road with a helicopter on standby because I was, you know, expected to bleed. And she arrived really, really quickly. So they want to make sure that I'm in the right place at the right time when I go into labour. So we've talking about inductions because, again, when we gave birth to Jackson, we had a really bad hemorrhage. So we need to make sure that we are covering all the grounds and making sure that I'm safe and baby is safe and everything just goes as smooth as it possibly can. So yeah, I think the only other thing as well is I've been drinking like a ton of everything. Any kind of fluids I can get my drink on, minus the alcohol, obviously, you know, for obvious reasons. But, you know, fizzy water, decaffeinated cola, loads and loads and loads of ice water. Squash, not so much, you know, like cordials and things like that, not so much, but mainly icy water. And I mean, when I say icy, it has to be so crispy cold that it literally makes my teeth shiver. Otherwise, I just can't drink it. And I'm literally drinking it by the gallon, and then I'm still thirsty. And then again, at the end of last week, we realised how dehydrated I was, despite the fact that I was drinking so much. I was dehydrated, so that's another thing we had going on. But I've been drinking like by the bucket load. I've been really, really thirsty. But I think that's all my symptoms, I think. Emotional, very emotional. Everything makes me cry or laugh or get angry, and it's like a little bit like Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, I'm definitely mood swings and emotional. Got that going on, but I think that's pretty much everything up to date. Apart from like my anxiety is just like the major thing at the minute. And it's kind of holding me back on filming a lot. It's holding me back on going out of my house. It's holding me back on just like having general relationships with family and things like that. It's just, I'm so filled with anxiety all the time, and it's really starting to be a pain in the backside. It's not the first time I've suffered with anxiety. I've suffered with mental health since I was about 13 years old. Nothing really bad, just I struggle with social settings. I struggle with things like agoraphobia. I had agoraphobia for years, and just anxiety. I'm just not a people person, apparently. I am, but I'm not. I like to talk to people, but I don't like to do it when it's not a planned thing. It's not like that I don't like to do it. Oh my God, I'm going to babble now. It's not that I don't like to do it. It's more so because if it's not a planned thing, my brain just kind of can't fathom it, which is odd. And I end up in these horrible anxiety panic attack things. So it's weird. Loads of anxiety. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's kind of everything that I wanted to pull you guys up to date on. And again, I'm really sorry that there hasn't been any pregnancy updates. It's just literally purely my anxiety that's holding me back. I will give you a quick shot of my belly if I can. I'm sitting in a room that's like literally, we've got furniture everywhere because we're moving everything around because we're not using this as a schoolroom anymore. Because we found that, oh, do you know what? It's a story for another video, not this one. Right, let me show you. So we have it. One massive, is it massive? Do we think it's massive? I obviously still have a mum tub, so I've got this bit down here, so it's not perfectly rounded like we wanted to be. But for an 18-week belly, would we say that was a big belly? I think it is. But yeah, so that is our pregnancy update for 18 weeks and 2 days. I'm hoping that I will get weekly ones in, if not maybe fortnightly. Again, I can't apologise enough for the lack of videos we've been posting. I'm really hoping that we're just going to get, you know, kick up the backside and just start filming more. I realise I have a skeleton's head behind me because it is like Halloween week, so why wouldn't I have a skeleton there, you know? Anyway, moving on. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, then definitely subscribe. And I promise I'm going to kick myself up the backside and get more videos out for you guys. I love you all, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye for now.